Is this on? Yeah, okay, it's on. Hello, everybody. Coach Stacy Lynn here. Today I want to ask you a question. First of all, I wanted to share something with you. See my background? This is real life, people. This is my house. This is where I live. This is where I work. Behind me, I have this really great squirrel photo that one of my friends painted for me. Got my Bible, got some cards I send people out. I have that blue jay behind me, even though some people think it's a penguin. I have some junk on my coffee table because I am in the midst of cleaning some stuff up. And believe me, it's a lot more organized than it used to be. Why do I bring it up? I bring it up because in the world of social media, influencing, we always hear about being authentic. And yet, the folks that are authentic and blah blah, they always present perfect. And here's the reality. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. You aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. And so I was thinking about what is it that I wanted to talk to you about today. And I wanted to talk to you briefly about a couple of things. Number one, what do you talk yourself out of? Now, this came up for me in my thoughts because I was thinking about what I wanted to record here. I know I have a Malachi study I got to finish, but I've been thinking a lot about self-defeating behavior because a lot of people engage in it and they may not know why. Maybe it's trauma. Trauma seems to be a big, huge buzzword. And I'm trauma informed. I know a lot about trauma. So when I work with people, I look for that. I look for trauma. But let me ask you this. What do you talk yourself out of? Right? Do you talk yourself out of having fun? And the reason that came up is because I was thinking this morning, I'm going to go play pickleball. And you know what? I talked myself out of it. You know why I talked myself out of it? Because I came up with an excuse. And my excuse was I'm tired, I got sinus pressure, I kind of feel a little bit off. And is that a legit excuse? Yeah, it is. But is it an excuse that I can deal with so that then I can go play pickleball if I really want to? The answer is yes. I can take medicine, people. And then in my head, I would go, well, if I take medicine, then I might feel tired because it would be for my sinuses. And then if I'm feeling tired, I probably shouldn't drive because then I might feel overwhelmed or maybe really tired. Then I wouldn't be safe on the street. And it wouldn't be good anyway because it's really bright out. My eyes are hurting. And then when I get to the gym, it's going to be like really glary and bright, blah, blah. So I have successfully talked myself out of playing pickleball. And I just bring this up. It's kind of a silly example. It's actually on my calendar to play pickleball. And I actually put things on my calendar because I know me and I know that if I don't have it on my calendar, it doesn't usually get done. But like in today I really do have a sinus issue going on and it's in my neck. So it tells me it's kind of like pre-migraine. So I'm just being safe. But those are some of my thoughts. Now let's say these are legit thoughts, which they are. How would I overcome that if I really, 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 really wanted to do this? Well, it'd be easy. If I really wanted to do it and I didn't have a lot of stuff going on, then all I do is take the medicine. And then I would take a little bit of time for it to take some effect. And then I do it. I don't have to drive that far. And if once I get there, I don't feel great, I don't have to stay long. I have permission as an adult to do what I want. And I think often what happens with a lot of people who have very high self-defeating behavior is you get stuck in this mindset, maybe because somebody else told you, you have to do this. You have to take care of me first. You can't, don't even take care of yourself And it's funny because I just recently found a journal entry from my 30s when I was in undergrad. I took my undergraduate degree is in human development. And in this particular class, they had us write out journal entries in the class about the different areas that we've seen ourselves grow in our different areas of development. So spiritual, emotional, physical, relational. And I was reading through what I wrote as a 30-year-old, and I laughed. I was like, yep, because I'm almost twice the age as I was then when I wrote it. So this also goes to another issue, right? Which is, if you talk yourself out of having fun, then what else do you talk yourself out of? Do you talk yourself out of having good relationships? Almost everybody I work with has this issue in some way. It presents differently, but it is that issue, right? And it can look this way. Well, I want deeper relationships with people, and that person's too shallow, so I'm not really interested in spending time with them because they don't go as deep as I would. So, they're kind of boring. And so as a result, even though it might be a good relationship, you talk yourself out of it because it's not what you want it to be. And yet at the same time, you have to wait, right? Today, I think that a lot of people want these deep relationships. I'm putting BioFreeze on my wrists because I got really bad carpal tunnel. BioFreeze works great, by the way. If you've never seen it, that's what it looks like. It might be a good surfacey relationship, but if you're dissatisfied, you're going to push that person away. And you know what? The only way that you're ever going to get to a deeper relationship is if you get through the shallow part first. But today it's almost flipped. It's like, oh, we have to go deep first, a la Married at First Sight. Which, by the way, I have to tell you, is an interesting TV show. I've been watching it. And the reason I've been watching it is because I thought it was interesting, the title, and I tuned it in, and then I noticed it was all about relationships, and of course I've been watching the professionals give the advice that they give, and I don't always agree with it because I look at stuff a little bit differently. But in those relationships on Married at First Sight, if you watch the show, you'll always see a similar dynamic: over expectations and people wanting things to be a certain way before it's time for it to be a certain way. So I just wanted to throw that out to you today, because if you're someone who struggles in those relationships because your expectations are way too high, what are you talking yourself out of? What good are you talking yourself out of? Because I'm going to tell you something, almost 100% of the time, when you talk yourself out of something, it's usually something better for yourself than worse. And I really believe that, because if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, well, why not? Because there's fear usually. Or, oh, I don't want to do that, that's going to blah, blah, blah. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. And the things that make you healthier are the things that you have to learn. Being unhealthy is a piece of cake. I mean, have you seen our society, people? Look at what it sells. If it bleeds, it leads. Being healthy and in good relationships and having a good life takes work, and people have a hard time with talking themselves into the good. Case in point, you're having a marriage problem. So what do? Well, I want a divorce. That's what I want. That guy isn't what he said he was. He's not perfect. And so even though it's a stupid communication problem, next thing you know, you're hitting divorce court because the people aren't willing to work at it and make it good. Do you think long-term marriages are an accident? Ask anybody who's honest, who's been married for any length of time, and you'll see that they had bumps and bruises in that marriage. And you'll also see that they chose to work through it. They talked themselves into staying married instead of talking themselves out of it. Now, I'm not talking about abuse, okay? A lot of people get divorced because of abuse. I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-defeating behavior that can be easily overcome if you choose to work on it. So, my challenge to you today is to confront yourself. Ask yourself, look in the mirror, go, hey, what did I just talk myself out of today? Eating healthy, that's a good one. Hey, I don't feel like cooking, so how about we go to McDonald's, right? Just so you know, I don't eat at McDonald's. My husband won't let me because he used to work there. But it's easier to go out and do something than to cook a healthy meal, right? So we talk ourselves into eating something unhealthy. I'm totally guilty of this. I mean, look, but we can also talk ourselves into the good, but we don't do it. We don't do it. But my question to you is, do you want a better life? Because if you're stuck in this cycle, then you got to make a choice to stop it and to do something different. So if you want help, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I do a free consult, and I can give you the equipping profile. It will actually tell me how high you are on self-defeat and over expectancy. Those two things are really big. So check it out. It's free, and I hope you have a better day, people. And you know why I say that? Because it's possible.